report, new bombshell text shows Strzok and Mcabe colluded on Russia witch hunt, by Amy Moreno for truthfeednews.com. Well, we have a newly uncovered text message that is blowing the lid off the Russian collusion story, and it spells very bad news for anti-Trump FBI agents Peter Strzok and disgraced former FBI Assistant Director Andrew Mcabe. Turns out the new text message shows that Mcabe and Strzok actually colluded together on the Russia investigation. From Breitbart, FBI agent Peter Strzok's text to FBI lawyer Lisa Page hours after FBI Director James Comey was fired that said they needed to open the case we've been waiting on. Now that FBI Deputy Director Andrew Mcabe was in charge, was related to the Trump-Russia investigation, according to Representative Matt Gaetz. That text message was not unrelated to Russia, Gaetz said in an exclusive interview with Breitbart News on Tuesday. The evening, right after Comey was fired on May 9, 2017, Strzok had texted Page, his then paramour, at 8:14 p.m. with, "We need to open the case we've been waiting on now while Andy is acting." Page responded the next morning at 4:57 a.m. with, "We need to lock in Redacted in a formal, chargeable way soon." And they're meaning the most likely the redacted is meaning Trump. Strzok confirmed during his testimony on Thursday that Andy meant Mcabe, but refused to confirm what case he was referring to or who Page was talking about. But Page, who testified behind closed doors on Friday and Monday, was much more forthcoming about those texts, Gaetz said. "It's my understanding from discussions with my colleagues that Rosenstein had indicated that it had nothing to do with Russia or the Trump campaign, that it was this unrelated matter," he said. Again, now Rosenstein trying to cover it up. Strzok refused to answer what it was related to, and Lisa Page gave a testimony that was in direct conflict with what I understood to be Rosenstein's explanation. So Rosenstein is lying while Lisa Page was telling the truth behind the closed-door meeting. Representative John Radcliffe told Strzok during his open testimony last week that if he and Page talked about opening an investigation based on who was then FBI director, it would violate due process. Decisions about when and whether to open investigations and when and whether to charge people with crimes aren't supposed to depend on who's sitting in the director's chair, or on political decisions, or on the political agendas of FBI agents and lawyers, he said last week at a House Judiciary and Oversight and Government Reforms Committee's joint hearing. So, if a Trump-hating FBI agent and a Trump-hating FBI lawyer who have talked about effing Trump, stopping Trump, impeaching Trump are within hours of President Trump firing their boss, if they start talking about opening an investigation now that Andy is acting and that some person needs to be locked in a formal, chargeable way soon, I know, as a former U.S. attorney, whoever is the subject of that case that was open now, that Andy is acting, and whomever you and Miss Page talked about needing to be locked in soon in a formal, chargeable way, well, they would have had their civil liberties violated. They would have been deprived of due process. At the time of those exchanges, Comey had just been fired, Mcabe had become acting FBI director, and special counsel Robert Mueller had not yet been appointed. Last Refuge tweets here, in May 10th, 2017 at 5:29 a.m. 5 o'clock in the morning, Page to Strzok, we need to lock in Redacted in a formal chargeable way soon. It's almost a guarantee the redaction is POTUS. We need to lock in POTUS, meaning Trump, in a formal chargeable way soon. Page 32 of that thing. The screenshot of prior pic Twitter. So he shows that. We can't see it, but we know what we're talking about here. Both Page and Strzok played key roles on both the Clinton email and Trump-Russia investigation. Page served as legal counsel to McCabe and as his liaison to Clinton email and Trump-Russia investigation teams. She would then work on the special counsel team for 2 months before her assignment there ended. Strzok led the Clinton email and Trump-Russia investigations, then served on the special counsel team until Mueller learned of the text messages Strzok and Page had sent. During those 3 phases, Strzok and Page exchanged at least 50,000 text messages to one another, many of which expressed animus towards Trump and a preference for Clinton. In one text, Strzok had told Page that they would stop Trump's election. Justice Department Inspector General Michael Horowitz found in an investigation of the FBI's handling of the Clinton email investigation that Strzok's text messages showed a biased state of mind and a willingness to act. Horowitz is now investigating whether Strzok's bias against Trump affected the FBI's investigation into the Trump campaign. During last week's open hearing, Strzok revealed that Mueller never asked him any questions about those text messages and simply dismissed him due to the appearance of bias. Lawmakers during the hearing rejected that explanation, arguing that other lawyers on the special counsel team also had the appearance of bias since they had donated to or worked for Democrats, but they were not kicked off the team. Gates also said another exchange between Strzok and Page discussing their career decisions showed that they did not believe there was any evidence of collusion about 10 months after the FBI had launched its investigation into the Trump campaign on July 31st, 2016, but before Mueller was appointed. My reaction to Lisa Page's testimony is that at the time there really was zero basis for collusion, and Strzok and Page both knew it. He said it's a significant factual revelation that deep into the FBI's investigation of the Trump-Russia allegation there was no evidence, and that Mueller was in fact appointed in the absence of evidence. Shouldn't that be shut down already since you see that? Gates said that Page, like Strzok, also denied that her personal views against Trump played a role in her decision-making. That's another falsehood, I would add. Her demeanor was confidence. She was not cagey or coy. I thought she was direct. She obviously maintained the Strzok line of reasoning that, well, I personally held these views, but it never affected our investigative work. Come on now, what a crock. I did not believe her when she said her bias was walled off from work, but I was appreciative that she answered more questions than Strzok did, he said. Well, they were trying to start the case after Comey was fired. We have to get it in a formal, chargeable way. Who? And at 5 o'clock in the morning, who is it? Of course it's Trump. Come on. I mean, you know, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure this out. And it's redacted because why was it redacted? Because if it wasn't redacted, the gig is up and the Mueller investigation is shut down automatically. But they give us this redacted garbage, which that I think is absolutely absurd at this point in time. Enough is enough, as I said before. I mean, why is it redacted? Give us the information, and we want to clear this up now. And Gowdy's up there, oh, finish it up. What are you doing about it, Gowdy? What are you doing about finishing up this investigation? What is all these redactions, saving their butts with these redactions, and let this Mueller-Kroc investigation continue to this level? When you see it's clear bias, I say arrest them and then start asking questions, because this is ridiculous at this point. We're going over round and round in circles in the same circle, like the dog trying to catch its tail, so to speak. When this could be cleared up within an hour or two, you can tell, I want the information unredacted. I want to know what's going on here. Enough is enough. For such a long period of time, you're ripping this country apart, making everybody wait for the answer. We know who they meant. Come on, Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.